Today's project is a Tesla speaker coil. Should be interesting. Quite a simple circuit board. We've got a coil that goes on here, a couple of LEDs, resistors, two power transistors which go on here, power in, and they also provide you a nice little cable to plug into your MP3 player or phone so you can play some music. The picture shows some fantastic sparks coming off the end. I've got a feeling they may not be as colourful as the picture shows. We've got a couple of heat sinks here which go onto the circuit board. Now I'm going to imagine that these should have come with a bit of heatsink compound for the power transistors there, but it hasn't. They're not supplied that in the pack. So I'm going to build it as the pack has arrived without the heatsink compound, and we'll see what happens. There's only two types of resistors, one set here and one set here, which go onto the board. We've got a 2K, which is down here, and a 10K as well, which is there, 2K there. So let's give them a quick test and see which is which. So right, okay, so that'll be the 2K. So those two are the 2K. Yep, and there'll be the 10K. So we've identified which is which, 10K and 2K. So I've mounted the circuit board on to the holder now, and one of the 2K resistors is right on the edge there, so I'm going to have to move the circuit board later, but we can get the two 10Ks and one of the 2Ks on there. So this is our first resistor. Put that in there like that. Our second one. There we go. And just do what I always do and just bend out the leg slightly just to hold it in place. Bent those a little bit more than normal. Here we go. And we just clip off the legs, pull the other one to one side. There we go. And one of the 2Ks, we can put that in place as well. Okay, so there we go, let's got those in. Right, we have got two capacitors. This one here has got, I'm not too sure if you can see that on the camera or not, it's got 105 written on it. So that goes there. It's not polarized, so it doesn't matter which way around it goes. Push that onto there. Now I have noticed that those two tracks just there are quite close to each other, so I have to be careful to make sure that the solder doesn't cut over those, but I think that's okay. But if you're making one of these kits, so just be careful about that. Okay, so we have another capacitor which is here. And this one is polarized, so it's got a negative here. Also the positive cable, the positive leg is longer. And if we look at the circuit board, so it goes here, there's a little plus right up in that top corner there. So I'm going to guess, and it is a guess because it's really difficult to see, but this leg is positive and this one is negative. We'll soon know if it goes bang or not. So put that in there. Okay, that's that done. So just turn the circuit board round. We can get the two LEDs in here and we can get the resistor in. So let's do that now. Okay, so that's got that one in. Let's get the LEDs in. And again with the LEDs, we have one leg which is longer than the other one. We have a plus on here, a plus on there. So the long leg will be plus. And the other LED, which goes at the top here. Right, okay, so that's actually got most of the components on. So the next thing we need to look at are the two power transistors which go in there. So these power transistors have to be mounted to these heat sinks, and you get provided by a couple of screws in the kit as well. Like I said at the beginning, these heat sinks should really be connected to the power transistors with a bit of thermal compound, but as the kit doesn't contain thermal compound, I'm not going to put any on. So let's see how it goes. So what we do is we put this screw in there like that. Okay, that's one of them done. So I'll just straighten that up. There. Now it's not immensely tight. I can still move it around a bit, and what we'll do is we'll solder it onto the board, and once they're both on the board, then we'll tighten those screws up. Now the two are actually marked. The one on the left here, so this one here, is BD243. The one on the right, which is this one here, is a BDNF70. So let's have a quick look at the circuit board. Okay, so right, here we go then. So it's marked on there, BDNF07 and BD243. So the 243 goes this side and the BDF one goes this side. So let's move my circuit board around and then we'll have a go. So I've moved the circuit board around now, and we're going to put on the BD243, sorry, the 243, which should go on here. So let's just line those pins up. Okay, so that looks like it's gone through all right. It has to be quite flat to the circuit board. Okay, so we'll get a bit of solder on our soldering iron tip. Hold that in place and just see if we can just dab a bit on the which is not doing. Okay. See if I can get one of those legs to hold it in place. There, that's done that, that's got it in. before I do them all, I'm just going to double check to make sure that it's in place correctly, which it is, so now I can solder it up properly. I just have to flood fill these loads of solder just to get them to sit in place. There we go. Like that. Okay, so I'm just checking now to make sure that that's in place correctly. We've got a big blob of solder on there, so let's take a bit of that away. There we go. Okay, still got a big blob of solder on there, but it's not touching anything, so that's okay. All right, let's get the other one up. Again, when you're soldering these, don't forget you are soldering against a heat sink, so that is going to suck out the heat from your soldering iron. Okay, so that should just hold it nicely. Let's just make sure it's flat, which it is. Okay. That's better, no big blob of solder on there, which is good. Now I just held the heatsink against the board when I sawed that leg in, just to hold it in place, just to make sure it's nice and flat. So, okay, there we go. Just got those in place. We can cut the legs off. Right, so the next thing we need to look at then, we've got two sockets here, so I'll turn the board round, and we've got the coil to go on here as well. So I'll turn the circuit board around now, so now we can get to these two sockets here. So we've got a power socket which goes there. We've also got the audio in which goes there as well. What we could also got is a 2-pin power which can fit there as well. So I want to get that one in as well. So let's see if we can solder that one on first. So I'm just going to use a joining cable like this just to hold it in place so I don't burn my fingers when I solder it up. There we go. Great, so that's going to hold it in place. And we can solder that up properly now. Right, let's get the other power socket in as well. Okay, so again I'll just get a bit of solder on the end of the soldering iron. Hold that in place. And just dab a bit on there just to hold it in place while we solder it up properly. Okay, so that's got them done. Not the most brilliant of solders, but it's on. It's not going to go anywhere. There we go. That's better. Okay, so that's got the power in. So now let's have a look at the audio in on this one here. Okay, so it looks like, so there's no traces on the top. The traces are at the bottom. It's the two there and the one in the middle, so we can quite happily solder these at the bottom first off so they can hold it in place. Tap of solder. Okay, so that's just holding it in place while we solder the rest up. Okay, so I just saw it move then, so let's just warm that up and just push it into place. There we go. It just slightly moved when I soldered that first pin, so I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to go anywhere. Brilliant. So that's got the sockets on there. So the last thing we need to look at is the coil here. Now the coil itself comes in this little plastic bag. We've got one cable here, which is just on the edge, just there with an arrow pointing up. We've also got another coil inside, and another coil, hello, the cable, there we go, inside. Now what we got here then, so this cable here solders into this point here, and this one here, the long one, is the one that's going to stick out the end and hopefully give us the wonderful sparks. But let's see what happens. We also need to do is to make sure that the enamel on this cable has been taken off so we can solder it. So I've got a little bit of sandpaper here. I'm just going to quite gently rub on this cable here, just so I can get a bit of that enamel off. should be able to see the cable going a little bit more shinier now. So that's got to go onto there. And somehow we've got to stick that down as well. On there, and that's the cable that goes through there. Got some super glue here, so I was going to do a few little dabs. Make sure our wire goes through the hole. Just hold that in place while the glue sets. So I've left that a couple of minutes just to dry off, and that's dried quite nicely. So next thing we need to do is to solder this very thin, very fine wire in its place. So we're just going to bend it slightly just to hold it into place like that, and we're going to solder right to that corner there. Great, so that's got that. Of course, a very fine cable this. There. Now the only other cable that we've got is the one that goes from here to here. Now that cable is this one here, and it just simply loops round once. So let us sort that out. So okay, so they're not working. So let's try these then. That's better. Just going to twist the cable around so they don't fray out. So one goes down there, like so. I'm just going to hold that in place. So that's the end of it just there. So if I just bend that around the holder, so that will just hold it in nicely just there. We can solder that up. That's one loop of cable like that. Now let's have a look. So that's what I'm thinking is I might cut that cable down a bit actually. Yeah, let's cut that cable down a bit, probably to there. Still a bit slick on it, so yep, a little bit more. That's better. That's getting a bit tighter now. We can pop that through the hole. There we go. Just making sure that the individual cables don't fray out as I put it through the hole. Let's do it again. Right, okay. Right, that'll stop it. There we go. Let's sew that up. Audio there, power in there, 2 power transistors, resistors down the middle, capacitor there, 2 LEDs, another resistor, and our 2 coils here. So this needs 15 to 24 volts, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to try it with 9 volt first, just to start it off. We've also got these as well, so these are circuit board holders, and what they do, they go underneath to stand it up off the table. So I think I'll just put those in as well while we've got the time. Great, so that's how it sits like that. And that's the end. That should give us the wonderful spark. So let's get some power. So I've just dug out this transformer I'm using here. It's 12 volt 2 amp. Circuit board says that it can take 15 to, I think it's 15, let me just double check that for you. Yeah, 15 to 24 volt. So I'm using 12 volts, so it's not quite enough, but I just want to test it to make sure it doesn't go bang or anything like that. So where's my cable gone? There it is. So let's plug this in. Okay, so hopefully this will work. and you should see a spark at the end of that. So let's turn that light out. Oh good, LEDs are on, that's a good sign, and we do have a spark. Let's see if we can help you see that. If I put that behind there we go. So we do have a spark, not quite what the picture showed us on eBay, but we do have a spark going off there, and just to prove that, there we go. So next thing we can do is try it with some music. So let's move to one side. So let's plug it in to there, and just to the side I've got my laptop, so I'll start the music on that, and then we should be able to hear it through the Tesla coil. Okay, it's a bit quiet, but I hope you can hear that. Okay, so that's working all right. Now, another little trick I want to try while I'm here is I've got a bulb. Now, let me turn the main light off, and should be able to see the sparks on the end there all right. So let's try this. Oh, look at that, there we go. Take it away, it goes off, bring it up to it. Just to show you it's not connected to anything. Yeah, I think we can safely say that's a successful build.